Hey, what's up everybody? Dustin here with Rocky Mountain ATV/MC. Today I'll be showing you how to inspect the clutch on your Polaris RZR XP. Alright, so today I'll be showing you how to identify and inspect some of the wear items that can be found on the Polaris CVT clutches so that you can get the most out of your machine. Now, these particular clutches have been pulled off of a 2014 Polaris XP 1000. Now, Polaris has a few different designs of their CVT clutch, but this inspection video can be used as a reference to help inspect the clutch system on just about any machine. So just be sure and follow along in your service manual for any specs that are specific to your clutch design. Alright, now when inspecting your clutch, a good place to start is with the drive belt. So the drive belt is what's going to transfer the power from the engine and the primary clutch through the belt to the secondary clutch, which is attached to the transmission. Now, in order for this to operate, it requires friction. So the belt makes contact with the clutch sheaves, creates friction, and that's what gives us that grip. Now, the friction is what we want, but it's also our worst enemy as well. If we were to get dirt and debris inside of the clutch, it's going to prematurely wear out the sheaves as well as the belt. Now, you'll also want to keep the incoming air filter that feeds the clutches that cool air. You're going to want to make sure to keep that nice and clean. Also, it's not a bad idea to go ahead and pull the clutch cover itself, take some compressed air, and be sure to wear a painter's mask so you don't inhale the fine dust, but blow some of that air on there and blow out all the dirt and debris that are coating your clutches. You'd be surprised at how much dust they will accumulate. Now, when you're out operating your UTV, you want to be aware of the type of terrain that you're riding in. Now, if you're out enjoying Moab, doing a lot of the slow, technical type of terrain, you're going to want to stay out of high gear. If you're in high gear when encountering those kinds of obstacles, you're more than likely going to smoke your drive belt, which will leave you in the middle of nowhere. So a good rule of thumb is that when you're out operating your machine, if you're traveling at less than 7 to 10 miles an hour for a prolonged period of time, you want to set your machine in the low gear position. Now, if you're traveling at a prolonged period of time above 7 to 10 miles an hour, you'll definitely want to have your gear selector in the high position. So be mindful of the type of terrain that you're out riding in and be careful not to smoke the belt. Now, if you have some uneven wear flat spots in your belt, it's going to give you some unwanted feedback in the way that the clutching feels and performs. So if that's the case and you're experiencing that, you're going to want to pull your belt and give it a good inspection. So once you have the belt off of the machine, take and run your finger along the length of the belt itself. And what you want to look for are flat spots and just any kind of uneven wear. And that will let you know that you're probably pretty close to being due for a new drive belt. Now, once you've gotten some of these flat spots in your belt, it will start to wear out faster, so you will want to address that rather quickly. Now, other things to look for when it comes to inspecting your drive belt is along the cogs. You can see on some of the older belts, when they get all tired and worn, they'll start to get really dry and begin to crack. Now, if your belt is in that condition, you will definitely want to replace it right away. All right, now for the sheaves on the clutches, you're going to want to give them a good inspection with your finger. So just take your finger and run it right along the length of the face of the sheave, and you're going to check for any deep grooves or divots. Now, if you have deep grooves or divots, you're definitely going to want to replace the entire assembly. Now, if you're looking at your sheave faces and they seem to be really dark in coloration, kind of black, that means that they're glazed and that you'll need to service them. Now, when it comes to servicing the sheaves, you're going to want to take some Scotch-Brite and scrub them. And when you scrub them, you're going to want to put a crosshatch pattern into the face of the sheaves. And what this will do for us is give us optimal friction when it comes to sheave and belt contact. All right, now on the primary, you can see that we've taken off the primary cover. Now, if you need help with doing this, you're definitely going to want to refer to your service manual for the proper procedures and techniques on how to take this apart. There's quite a few things you need to know before you do that. So again, be sure to reference your service manual. Now, when it comes to inspecting it, there's a few components that we need to take a look at. And one of those first components is the roller bushings. Now, the roller bushing allows for the shift weight to make contact with it and apply pressure, which will fight the spring essentially and allow for the clutch sheaves to change shape. Now, when you inspect the roller bushing, you're going to run your finger along the length of it and check for any flat spots or excessive wear. You'll also want to take and tap your finger against it, and if it's making excessive noise and you can feel play in it, you'll definitely want to replace the roller bushing and the shaft. Now what that part looks like when it's sitting inside of there is right here. It's just a roller bushing on a pin, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Real simple component. But if this has excessive wear, you'll definitely want to replace this. Now the next item is the shift weight. Now here you can see that once the machine is operating, these weights will kind of throw themselves out under centrifugal force, and it'll make contact with the roller bushing. Now to inspect it, you just want to run your finger along the length of the shift weight and check for excessive wear and any flat spots. If you have either of those, you'll definitely want to replace your shift weights. Now the last item to inspect on the primary clutch are these buttons right here. They're a wear item that protect the spider from the towers. The whole point to them and their design is to eliminate the amount of friction that the primary clutch experiences when it's changing shapes. Now these do wear out, and the spec that Polaris gives us is 12 thousandths of an inch. So you'll take a feeler gauge, you'll place it in between the button and the tower here and check its tolerance. Now here we're definitely larger than 12 thousandths of an inch, so Polaris recommends that we should go ahead and replace the entire primary clutch as an assembly. However, EPI makes some replacement buttons for this clutch, but keep in mind that when the aluminum towers wear out, you will need to replace the assembly. Now onto the secondary clutch, we're going to inspect the sheave faces the same way that we did on the primary. Take your finger, run it along the length of the face, check for any excess divots or deep grooves. Now if you have those, you'll definitely want to replace the assembly. Now the next wear item that wears out rather quickly are these roller sliders. Now this is where they're located on the secondary clutch, and as you can see, the one that we have here is extremely worn and will definitely need to be replaced. So if this looks like your clutch, you'll definitely want to service these wear items. Now the next wear item is on the secondary clutch's spider. Now we have the similar roller bushings that are located here. Now check again for these, check excessive wear, flat spots, roll them around, check the inner diameter to see if there's excessive play. If that's the case, you'll definitely want to replace them. Now the other item that wears with those is the secondary's helix. Now you'll want to check this for excessive wear as well, and if it's in real bad shape, you'll definitely want to replace this or the entire assembly. Now if you need help with getting to this point, or some more information on how to tear your clutches apart and service them right, be sure to reference your service manual for that specific information and procedures so that you can do it the right way and do it safely. And that's it. That's how you inspect the CVT clutch on your Polaris side-by-side. Now, if you have any questions or concerns as to what we've done here today, feel free to leave a comment below and we'll be sure to get an answer to you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more how-tos, product spotlights, and tests. And be sure to check out our website at RockyMountainATVMC.com, where we have the largest selection of parts, apparel, and accessories for your UTV, ATV, and motorcycle. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm Dustin with Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Thanks for watching, and keep turning those wrenches.